To another video, Purple Political Talk here, and we have breaking news. Kamala Harris was just announced as Joe Biden's running mate, so we now know what the whole Biden ticket will be looking like. It was one of the most speculated tickets, even from far behind. Before the primaries, Kamala Harris was a big contender to be Biden's VP, even if she did not win the nomination. So, at this point, Kamala Harris is now the VP for Biden's ticket, and we're going to look at how that affects the ticket. So, I would say that these are the contested states for this presidential election. Whether it be a little bit too much, I added some states that Harris could help out the Democratic Party, and we're going to go through and fill in which states does Harris help or she does not add anything to. I would say that Kamala Harris does add to a lot of these states, just because she appeals to African American voters, to Latino voters, all these different types of voters. So let's fill in and see where Kamala Harris does well. At this point, she does pretty good, I would say, in the western part of the country. She is from that western region of the country. She really does help out Biden with Latinos, because they are a minority that Biden struggles with. And in her own state, Kamala Harris does have a lot of Latino constituents, and she is somewhat popular with minorities, at least more than Biden, which would definitely help them with Latinos in areas like Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado. And also the charisma that she adds on to the ticket. While Joe Biden might be someone a little bit more boring, Kamala Harris brings all the charisma that comes in a running mate to the Biden ticket that really would also help Biden in the state of Texas. And Kamala Harris really helps out and makes Biden's ticket better. And she really is a very well-rounded candidate. Not only does she help in the Midwest, not only does she help in the Southwest, not only does she help in the Sun Belt, she helps everywhere. And the Biden ticket, and I think the Biden campaign actually made a great choice here. Was she my number one pick? No. But I think the Biden ticket really has created, a lot of enthusiasm. Now they have a Kamala Harris on the ticket. And she's going to be a historical vice president if she does get elected. She would be the first woman vice president, as well as the first woman black vice president. So, at this point in time, it's going to be very interesting to see what she does. Southwest, she's kind of appeals to that group of voters. Very good for her. And the Biden ticket as well. The Democratic Party should be very, very happy with that pick. I would have picked someone like Michelle Lujan Grisham, but again, Biden-Harris is a very good ticket. I would say that Harris also helps out Biden when it comes to the Midwest and areas like Ohio and stuff like that. Just because there is some African American population, she helps out and pushing out those margins. And realistically, she helps out with the Rust Belt as well. Kamala Harris is just a very good candidate, and we know that going against Mike Pence, I want to see those debates. As you know, Kamala Harris will be an interesting thing to see. Now, at this point in time, we're going to be able to see what ends up happening from here. She was only announced a couple minutes ago. They're going to be appearing in a virtual fundraiser pretty soon, and all these different things are adding up. And the Biden campaign picked Kamala Harris, and that was a great thing to do. I'm going to go more in depth into it later, but right now, these are the initial thoughts that I have when it comes to where does Kamala Harris really help out, or does she not really? So we have that there. The Rust Belt, areas like Ohio, Kamala Harris would be a huge help to Biden, bringing over the African American vote and pushing up those margins. The Midwest, I think, the way she speaks, she's going to be able to connect with some of the voters in the Midwest. She really does help out in the South. Maybe not win the states like Mississippi or South Carolina or even Georgia, but still pushing up the margins. Florida as well, in the areas where there are a lot of African Americans like Orlando, Kamala Harris would be a lot of good help there. And North Carolina as well, there's a lot of African American populations that the Democrats really need to push up the margins. And I would say, honestly, the state of Iowa as well, with Biden's appeal to moderate voters, as well as Kamala Harris's somewhat interesting appeal to Black Americans, they might be able to push up the margin in Iowa. Whereas if they chose someone like Michelle Lujan Grisham, maybe the state of Iowa wouldn't have been the best pick. And now we're going to look at the rest of the states where Kamala Harris won't really help too much. I would say Virginia, she would help a little bit more to increase Biden's chances at the presidency. However, I feel like Alaska and New Hampshire, she doesn't really bring that much to the table, because those are two very white states that, Kamala Harris won't really impact too much. I think Biden could take care of it right there. However, this is where I think Harris would help out. I think she would help out in most swing states, at least the ones that matter. With this, the Sun Belt, she has a very good appeal there with African Americans, Latinos, the Rust Belt with the working class. She does have also the black voters in the Rust Belt. Going to be very interesting to see how it goes from here. I want to see how the Trump campaign attacks the Biden-Harris ticket. I want to see how that plays out and how she's able to keep her cool and all these different things. So at this point, very interesting race. Kamala Harris has been selected. These are initial thoughts, and of course, I will make more content about Kamala Harris and giving you guys an intro about her so you guys get to know her better. All these different things so you guys are accurately informed about Kamala Harris. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please give it a huge thumbs up, like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to get notified when I post my next video. Hope you enjoyed the video, and goodbye.